Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Grow Wealthy Grooming. I am your host, River Lee. I hope you guys are all having a great time in COVID land. It's been pretty interesting for me, I'm not going to lie. We've been enjoying the busyness being mobile. How about you guys? Are you guys having a good time? I shouldn't say a good time because I know a lot of you guys are out of work. I know a lot of you guys are really struggling financially. I will say that I am enjoying a little bit of the slow time and things like that. For those of you guys that have not been before, I am River Lee, and I am the founder of the Savvy Groomer. Too many groomers own a job and not a business. At Savvy Groomer, we teach pet professionals how to make simple changes in their business so they can grow a business that is successful. At Savvy Groomer, you want to be the savvy pet professional with a business you can be proud of. In order to do that, you need to know how to manage your business so you own a business and not just a job. The problem is you hear lots of advice that doesn't actually make a difference, which makes you feel frustrated, overwhelmed, and like a failure. You've been putting in the effort, but don't have anything to show for it. We believe no one's dream should fail. I understand. I went through a lot of things, and I learned a lot of my business knowledge the hard way and from outside of the grooming industry. I use my expertise to work with clients internationally and have a proven track record. So let's go ahead and start talking about this week's show topic, which is it is another strategy for recovery. And it's should I increase my prices? I keep seeing this pop up everywhere. Everyone keeps asking this question. And I want to say hi to Peter, LRJAA, Bacon Earth, aka TNT/BG. Boy, that is a name. I also see Aaron and Wingtip80. Good to see you all. All right, so let me start into my notes. And as always, if you guys have questions or anything specifically you want to talk about, I am here for you guys. And I am going to have to turn that off. Whoop. Sorry, guys. No one ever texts me except when I'm on live, right? So the question is, should I increase my prices? And I'm going to go ahead and move my chat box there. So if you guys have a question or you want to say something, just let me know. So first things I want to ask you guys is, are you profitable? And that is not always as clear cut of an answer as you guys like it out to be. We try to talk in percentages instead of dollar amounts, mostly because everyone is going to decide what is a good amount of money to have and a not so good amount of money to have. For me personally, I like to earn more than I make. And that is on top of what I earn just grooming. So that way, in the long run, either I can own my own business or in the sense that, so when I say own your own business, so we all own our own business, but we're really what I call self-employed groomers. So right now in my business, I am a self-employed groomer. So what that means is I am working in my business, and until I am in my business and I don't need to work in my business, then I am self-employed. So if I, God forbid, get really hurt, I have to hire a groomer. And the question is, could you hire a groomer at the amount of money that you pay somebody? If that makes any sense. So let me try. I'm going to walk you guys through what I'm talking about. And there's a bunch of numbers. So if you guys need me to put them in the chat box so you can keep up, just let me know. So I want to talk about percentages first. So everyone has heard me over and over and over and over and over again talk about 30% goes to payroll. Try not to do 50%. A lot of these groomers are saying 45 to 60% to their groomers. That's a really tough number, and I'll tell you why. So if I'm putting 30% into payroll, and that should include you. If you're grooming, you should be paying yourself 30%, tops. And then the other, 15 to 25%, depending upon where you live, between state and federal taxes. Now, I know in other countries it's different amounts of money, but that amount of money is going to go to your taxes. So you're going to have your gross profit, which is your money before you take out of your overhead and your taxes. The first 30%, let's say, goes to pay your people. And the next 15 to 25% is then going to go to taxes. Realistically, unless if you are wealthy already, have a very wealthy benefactor. Maybe you guys have parents that just were willing to lend you money or give you money to open your salon, or a wealthy husband, or a wealthy wife, hey, equal opportunity at these times. You're probably going to have overhead, and overhead is shampoos. You're going to have, your rent, your mortgage, and on top of that, you're going to have debt and upgrades. So for this number, I put about 15 to 25% is pretty normal for grooming overhead, especially if you're using high quality shampoos, if you are having equipment, sharpening, fixing your dryers, filters, your insurance, things of that nature. And then I put 5 to 25% for debt or upgrades. Again, unless if you have a wealthy benefactor who just happened to give you all that money, or you were wealthy beforehand, you probably had to take a loan out. I know for me personally, with my grooming business, that I pay $1,500 a month in my grooming van payment. And that means that is about 15% of my overall. It's anywhere between 10 and 15%, just that one payment. Never mind, right now I'm pretty good. But at one point we had a business credit card and things like that. And that's why I tried to tell you guys to go away from that. Because I'm already paying 15, 20, 30% in debt, plus overhead, plus this, then things get a little crazy. The nice thing about being mobile, all you shop owners, trust me, I remember, is, eventually I'm going to pay off my van. You never have to stop paying rent unless you buy a property, which is also a great investment. Anyway, moving on. So let's go through those numbers again. 30% to payroll, 15 to 25% go to taxes, 15 to 25% go to overhead, 5 to 25% go to debt or upgrades. So guys, that is anywhere between 65% to, 65% to 105%. So even using 30%, you could easily actually lose money. And I think that's important to point out. That's at 30%. So I also wanted to do those numbers assuming anywhere between 45% payroll to 60% payroll. Well, now you're looking at 80% to 135%. I mean, think about it. Believe it or not, there are lots of successful grooming salons that I speak to that are actually losing money, which I know sounds crazy. So why do I bring these up? Because this is what you're paying before you're paying yourself for the most part, before you're doing any of the owner work. You're not even grooming. This means that you don't get any return on your investment beyond owning a job. And I talk about owning a job a lot because there's really no pleasure in owning your own job. If you could go work for somebody else and earn the same or more, it doesn't make any sense to do that. So these are our structure, because now we're going to kind of go into this. So what is the average grooming ticket that you guys have? I try to use the average of 50, but if you guys have a different number, I'd love to hear it. If you guys have an average grooming ticket, what an average grooming ticket means is the average dog that walks in your salon. So I tend to use a Shih Tzu or a Yorkie 5-strip, round teddy bear face. The dog's not perfect, but the dog's not aggressive or a true pain in the bum. That's kind of like my average dog that I would suggest. Because sure, at my salon, we would do large dogs or we would do crazy dogs. But the average dog walking off the street, we did more Shih Tzus than anything. I don't know why. And it actually worked out really great because when I went to grooming school, the owner of the grooming salon used to breed and show Lhasas. So, I was like, I got this. Totally cool. So I don't mind doing 5-strip Shih Tzus all day. So that's kind of what I used for like my average dog for $50. So if this dog is $50 and it takes about an hour between check-in and check-out, grooming, etc., that dog is earning that groomer, remember, at 30%, $15 an hour. Now, if minimum wage in your area is only $10 an hour, that's okay money. But if you're somewhere where minimum wage is like $15 an hour, you're going to have one pissed off groomer. That means they would be literally working for minimum wage, and it wouldn't be your fault. It would just simply be the percentages. And I just wanted to point out some things really quick. Now, if we increase the money from 50 to 60, again, using 30%, remember $50 an hour is $15 an hour at 30% pay for your groomer. $60 an hour, $60 per dog is $18 an hour, 30% commission. $70 a dog is about $21 an hour for your groomer. So first things we want to make sure about paying ourselves or paying the groomer at 30%. We want to make sure that we are paying our groomer ideally a livable wage. And a livable wage means different things in different areas. It is not my responsibility to keep my groomer employed. However, I have to acknowledge that if I'm going to keep talented staff, I have to pay them enough money for them to not go elsewhere. Especially because I can't be competitive with Petco PetSmart. I can't offer them a 401k. I cannot offer them 2 weeks paid vacation. I cannot offer these things. Maybe eventually I can, but at this moment I cannot. So I see 105. So let's do that really quick. Loop. I know my computer's all excited. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's do 105. Boop. I would love some amazing new software, but we're doing pretty good with what we got. So that is $31.50 an hour. That's great. And again, if that's assuming a dog taking an hour. If that dog for some reason takes longer, that's where, we talk about hourly increases and things like that. Most dogs are ranges. Even that Shih Tzu could take 45 minutes for those of us who've been grooming 10 plus years. And then your baby groomers, it might take an hour and 15. So that's where obviously groomers get paid more the faster they are, as long as they keep up quality. And then as they get better and faster, they make more money. So what kind of income do you guys want to pay you and your staff? This is the real question. What kind of salon do you want to have? McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, and Starbucks all sell coffee. You can get a $1 all-size coffee at McDonald's, or you can get a $6 plus latte at Starbucks. As someone who saw the lines recently, I don't know about you guys, but where I am, the Starbucks lines are about 30 minutes long. I've literally sat in line for a mobile order for 30 minutes waiting to get my cup of coffee. And they even closed a bunch of local stores. So I had to drive 25 minutes to wait in lines. It was like an hour-long thing to get my coffee. But what's interesting is that Starbucks has created loyal raving fans. And that's amazing. And so I want to ask you about this. So if you have raving fans, they're not going to leave you over a price increase. But if you have price shoppers, or what I call accidental customers, they will not understand why you've increased your pricing, and they will probably leave. And whether or not, depending upon what business model you want to be, you'll either be able to move into a better marketing strategy, or you're going to be really sad. And there's nothing wrong with being McDonald's in the grooming industry. There's nothing wrong with being the cheapest and doing a lot of dogs. You just have to want that lifestyle and that kind of customer. Personally, I like the more boutique-y style customer that is going to come on a regular schedule, is going to pay me well. Yes, they're going to be more particular, but I am ready to stand up to the quality. I'm more than comfortable showing my quality and keeping up with my promises. So let's use the instance of a salon where they have 2 groomers who groom 8 dogs in 8 hours, with a bather who is paid $15 an hour and the receptionist is paid $10 an hour. So 2 groomers grooming 8 dogs a day in 8 hours. And they also have a bather and a receptionist. Now, the bather and the receptionist, let's say, are there for 10 hours, since ideally your bather and receptionist would be there an hour before your groomers to start up on things, prep things, get everything rocking and rolling, and also be an hour past in order to clean everything up. And no, I'm not saying the groomer leaves everything disgusting, but I do mean as far as like you should have a everyday deep clean, make sure everything is spick and span. The next day is prepped as much as it can be before everything rocks and rolls. So let's look at the number of that. So groomer run, let's assume 50% commission, by the way, for these groomers. Let's do a regular grooming salon. If that dog is $50 times 8, that's $400 a day for groomer 1 and groomer 2, which is $800 total. Now, groomer 1 and groomer 2, because we're in a normal grooming salon, are being paid 50%. That's only $200 left. Again, remember, we have to pay our bather and our receptionist. So our bather at $15 an hour for 10 hours earns $150. And again, this does not include workers' comp. This does not include payroll and taxes and things like that. So they're making $150 a day. And then my receptionist makes $100 a day at $10 an hour times 10 hours. They're her making $100. So I'm going to earn gross profit $800. And then when you take all that money out, now I'm only earning $150. Now some of you guys are like, that's not too bad. Until again, we go back to our percentages. And if you remember in our percentages, that would mean that it is less than 20%. And remember, if we go back to our taxes, we were realistically looking at just 15 to 25% in taxes. So in that day, that grooming salon owner, I should say, at best paid their employees and paid their taxes. That did not cover overhead. That did not cover any of their own pay. That did not pay off any debt. They literally made enough to pay their employees, groom all these dogs, and pay their taxes. So if there was ever a time now to increase prices, it's now. To fix your ratios and actually make your business profitable. You should own a business and not just a job. A lot of you guys that are like, that wouldn't be so bad if you were making the 30%. But even then, if you are a solo groomer who's also getting a bather and a receptionist, which a lot of you guys are, I cannot tell you how many of these grooming forums, the first thing they say to people is hire a bather, hire another groomer, hire a receptionist. Well, they don't understand the math. Their math doesn't actually lean itself towards this. Again, if I am grooming 8 dogs at $50, right, then I'm earning $400. Well, if I just hire that bather at $15 an hour, it's $150 out of $400. If I take out, I'll really quickly do the math. Whoop. So remember the 400, that's 40, 400. Now again, let's take times 30. So I'm going to pay me as a groomer. So if I'm the grooming salon owner / groomer, I'll pay myself $120 at 30%. And then my bather making $15 an hour. So 400 minus 120 minus 150. So there'd be $130 left. And $80 of that, let's say, is tax at 20%. It's also stupid that my bather would make more than I would as a groomer. But that's a whole nother story. So I'm looking at $50 profit to pay my rent, to pay my insurances, to buy a new dryer, $50 a day. That's not a lot of money. So in that instance, that groomer would go, first things first, okay, if you are a solopreneur where you are a one groomer owner, let's talk about how much you want to make per hour. And if you're someone like me who is very ironically, not super great at math. I do not know my multiplication tables. I am not that person. So let's say I want to earn, I personally need at least $4,000 or $5,000 a month to use my household. So I use very large numbers for me, and I know some of you guys don't have quite that. So let's say you need to earn $2,000 a month, which is actually only $24,000 a year, guys. That is poverty. That is super low. You guys should be earning at least $4,000 to $7,000 a month. But for simple math and time's sake, let's just say you need to earn only $2,000 a month in your survive. Remember, survive, live, thrive. Survive is just to pay the basic bills. Live is to be comfortable. And then thrive is so you can actually start saving for retirement. So I'm going to just, pretty sure it's about here. Yeah. So in this case, if I want to earn $2,000, now this is gross. We're not talking taxes. So I did $7,000. Okay. So I'm going to times 0.3 to pay myself 30%. That's $2,100 a month. That's about where this groomer would want to be. Now, realistically, I am a lazy groomer. I am a mediocre groomer. We're not talking cats. We're talking dogs. Cat grooming, I'm a BAMF. I'm amazing. I'm awesome. But let's say, for instance, I am a solo groomer salon owner. and that person wants to make $2,100. I'm not even going to go into their overhead because first things first, I want to make sure that they have money in their pocket. And hopefully using the other ratios, they're not much higher. If they're much higher, we've got bigger problems. So let's say, for instance, that all those are overhead. So we have that $7,000. So if you're like me and you're lazy, you can do 5 dogs a day times, let's say 5 days a week. That's 25 dogs a week. So we're going to do times 50 because I need 2 days off a year. That is 1,250 dogs. We're again going to divide that by 12, which is 105. So I'm going to take that $7,000 and I'm going to divide that into the 105, which means I have to charge, I know you guys, $67 minimum per dog to earn what I want to earn. So if this groomer, for instance, said I charge $50, we would do this math and then we'd say, okay, you need to charge this. So they would ask me, should I increase my prices? Yes. Sorry, that yelled. Yes, you need to, because you want to earn a minimum livable wage. And that's not even that much money. That's not a lot of things. And some of you guys are power groomers and good on you. You're like, I can groom 10 dogs in like an hour. And I'm like, yeah, no way. That is not who I am. And if you can, great job. Now, this is also why I went mobile, because you can charge a lot more mobile. You're going to be doing less pets, but I know me and my grooming style, and it's hard for me to groom a lot of dogs a day. I'm just not that kind of person. So what does that mean? So the next question is, how do I increase this pricing? And while there's a lot of different ways, and it really depends upon your business model. For instance, if you're a salon owner, if you're mobile, if you're a membership model program, if you're house call, the number one thing to remember when increasing prices is you have to understand exactly why and how it benefits the customer. One of the ways you need to think about this is it's not always about you making more money as much as it is for you to stay in business. There's no way physically possible that you can earn less than you need to earn and continue grooming. Unless if you are one of those groomers with a wealthy benefactor, whether they're married to them or you are wealthy already, or someone died and gave you a lot of money. You can't, it's not a hobby. And if it is a hobby, that's great. But the people I'm talking to are people that this is how they make their living. I pay my bills grooming. That's how I make my living. And hopefully soon teaching people all this stuff. So, let's hope. Anyway, so that's the question. And so when you're increasing your prices, you have to make a marketing strategy. Can I make a marketing strategy here on Grow with the Grooming for free? No. Why? Because there's so many options, and giving you guys a blanket statement would actually harm your business. Depending upon your current situation, how your business is run, how you deal with customers, how your customers are, those are all very personal details. And if I guys gave you a marketing strategy and it did not fit your business model, guess what's going to happen? It's going to blow up in your face, and you're going to lose a lot of customers. Now, it is not uncommon to lose about 30% of your customers when you do a large price increase, and a large price increase is $10 or more. But most of the time, you make your money back. You will spend the money on your business coach, me, or Mary Kondo, or Janelle German, whoever. Oh, I like that I have shadow puppets. I can do shadow puppets back here. Do you guys see this? Sorry. Anyway. So, you're going to spend some money on a business coach who's going to go through all these things, and they're going to help you decide how you best want to do this. And then when you're ready, you guys can then go ahead and use that marketing strategy. Again, it's going to really depend. Erin, I'm sure, could tell you exactly how we talked to her clients, and it was a big jump in how we did her business. And it was kind of crazy because, she went from I believe it was like I think it was 65 or 75 to about 105. And her current clients went to 95. And yes, there were definitely some clients who left, but the amount of extra money she made did well. And this is before COVID. So I'm sure now she's very grateful in the moment that she's able to do these things. So, if you should increase your prices, if you're going to, now is a great time. A lot of you guys have incurred a lot more debt. A lot of you guys have incurred a lot of losses, financial losses, depending upon where you are. Jared is saying, with that kind of potential loss of clients, could a stepped increase plan over a longer period be beneficial? So a lot of time, when I'm talking about this increase right now, when I'm talking about a decent step, when I'm talking about going from 50, in this groomer's instance, from like, let's say they had $50 and now they're going to go up to 70. That's a big increase. Would I do a stepped increase for that groomer? No. Because someone who's going to leave you over $10 is going to leave you over 20. Now, if you're talking about a huge increase or a change in business models, let's say if you're going to go from, regular per time to membership, that could be slowly introduced. And you're always welcome to do things like increase only new clients, only increase clients who are not on a 4 or 6 week schedule, only increase clients, insert thing. Right now, it's all about writing your prices and using COVID as, I don't want to say an excuse, but as a catalyst in order to create those large changes. You're going to be, a lot of groomers I'm already seeing who've been open or haven't even been open, already booked out till July. And to those groomers, I want to know, okay, did you increase your prices? Did you write your prices? Because it's not even about just increasing. It's riding the boat and making sure your business is going to be profitable. There's no point in being profitable there's no point. Well, I guess that's true. It's a Freudian slip right there. There's no point in being profitable and unhappy. So for those of you guys that know, I'm not a power groomer. So there's no point in me being profitable if I was burning myself out grooming 10 dogs a day. There's no point in being profitable if I'm unhappy. But there's also no point in owning a business if you basically own a job, or if you were just going through the paces and maybe sometimes even losing money. Aaron said, yes, without River helping me, COVID would have ruined everything. I lost 8 clients and hired 4 new ones. Yay! And Aaron and I did a big jump. So Aaron went from, and remind me, Aaron, I think it was like 65 or 75, and she's mobile, to 95 and 105. And the reason we did that was just because in order for her to earn what she wanted to earn, working the hours she wanted to work, we had to increase those prices. And she was fully booked, and it sounds like she had lost 8 clients, but she also had gained 4 new clients. And at those prices, it more than made up for itself. And it's unfortunate that sometimes we price ourselves. We don't really understand why we're pricing ourselves the way we're pricing ourselves. And I'm really starting to shy away from this phrase of like price what you're worth, because that's very subjective. It's kind of weird to me. Because here's the thing is like, how much am I worth? And if people don't pay it, that kind of hurts me, because then they don't feel like I'm worth it. It has nothing to do with it. They just don't value it. There's lots of people who do not value cat grooming, and there's nothing I can do about that. There are lots of people who don't value dog grooming. That's okay. That's their choice. There's a reason there is Old Roy and Raw Diet. There's a reason for that. We cannot convince them. And even within ourselves, like I pay way too much feeding my animals raw. And I don't really judge somebody who feeds their dog mid-grade dog food. I definitely do judge people who feed their dog Old Roy and like Beneful. I do judge those people, but that's because I'm a terrible person. But again, like someone may value nutrition for their dog, but maybe doesn't think that spending something ridiculous like I do, like $3, $4 a pound for raw and all the headache that comes with it is worth it. And there's no judgment, and you can't judge people who don't want to pay you. They don't value it enough. But that's also where it's important for you to brand your business and create a business that attracts people who value what you have to offer. Walmart, people value low prices. McDonald's, people value convenience and it being cheap. Dunkin' Donuts, it's all about convenience and that kind of like neighborhood feel. Starbucks is, we're going to do it right. And if we don't do it right, they forgot the whipped cream. So I was in line. I forgot the whipped cream on my Starbucks latte because I get coconut milk. So it happens sometimes. They literally, so I pulled out, I called. They brought a new one out. They also gave me a coupon for a free drink because they forgot whipped cream. That is what Starbucks is. And that is a level of customer service that a lot of us do not try to create. And it's hard to create it when you're burning yourself out because you're not pricing accordingly. It's really hard when you're pricing yourself in a way that you can't ever catch up. For instance, I just started working with another client and their base price used to be $79 for a small dog. They only do small dogs. And now their base price is $120. Yes, is that high? Of course it's high. But her specialty is elderly dogs, anxiety-driven dogs. It's pets that are, they're little special nuggets, and that's her specialty. And at $79 for a small dog, she really could not earn enough to pay her van and do all of that. So we had to raise. Erin is saying, current clients went from $70-$75 for small dogs under 20 pounds to $90-$95. New clients are coming at $105. Exactly. So yes, she had to increase her old clients by $20. But if they left, then she would have new clients at $30. And that rewarded her current clients. And again, everything goes up every year. Right now, everything's going to explode. I don't know about you guys, but in my local area, everything has already gone up. There are either surcharges, which I hate. I hate being nickeled and dimed to death. I just want to know what the price of something is. And so it's going to be important for you to make sure that you're going to make a profit and that you're going to be able to pay either you or your employees a livable wage. And if you are not grooming and you're just a business owner, and that's what we should all hope to be. We should all hope to hire somebody because our bodies are going to go. I'm sorry to break it to y'all. Unless if you have like Wonder Body, and some people do. I hate people that have been, no, it's not fair. I am really jealous of people that have been grooming 10, 15, 20 years and they're in great shape and they're like, I don't have carpal tunnel. I feel great. I can groom 15 dogs in an hour. And you're like, I am broken. I am physically broken. Now, maybe it's because I am the size of an 11-year-old child and I am like 5'2" and have teeny tiny hands, but I don't know what to tell you. It just is what it is. I wish I was not broken, but I am physically broken. But that's also why my business model now makes life easier. Yay! Erin's saying, I currently have 148 clients. Well, that's great. So if you look at, and I'm sure there are different sizes and this and that, but if you just look at that, 70 times 148, well, actually so it's, bloop, bloop, bloop. So she had 152 clients, 152 clients, and let's go on the low end, let's say times 70. That's, if they were all monthly, that's 10,640. And now if they stayed the same, la la la. And I'm sure they're not exactly that way, Erin, but let's just use you for, giggles. So just by that increase of $20 per dog, that would be an additional $2,000 a month. And if they were all new clients, let's do 148, because I know you lost those 4 clients. That would be an additional $5,000. Now remember, that went from $10,000 to $15,000. So that is a 50% increase. That's enormous. And I don't think we realize that sometimes. Sometimes we have to price right in order to be comfortable and to live the life that we want to live. And owning a grooming business is all about living a life that works for you. And I think a lot of times we focus on getting clients accidentally, and then we wonder why those clients aren't loyal to us and don't act the way we want them to. But most of the time, you guys just opened a shop or opened a business and let people come to you. And then you didn't do any onboarding. You didn't create a situation where you're picking and choosing the client that fit your brand and fit what you want. You're kind of just hoping they pick you. If you guys treated dating that way, and I am not one to talk about great dating, anything. That's not really me. But if you think about it this way, if you just kind of date anybody and have no standards, then you can't be really shocked when you get treated like crap. But if you have standards and you cultivate relationships and you pick people wisely and pay attention to the red flags, you would have a better dating life. Leah Foxcraft said, how do you handle if clients get confrontational about a price increase? That's my least part of a price increase. Ugh. So this is where, again, I'm not trying to sound salesy. You really need a business coach, because when you are going to be confronted by a client, you need to know why and be comfortable and be ready. You need to understand why that's a benefit to the client and have that either script ready or practiced and all of those things. For instance, so with Erin, the truth was, if she kept doing what she was doing at the price she was going to do, she was going to close. There was no way for her to stay open and keep grooming if she was doing that. There was no way. And so for her clients that confronted her, my suggestion to her, and again, that fit her brand and that fit what was going on with her clientele, was basically, if I don't do this, I'm going to close anyway. So I have to do this. Now, if she chose to do that or not, that is her choice. But we did talk about that because clients are going to push back. Mostly the clients that are your worst clients. It's almost never your soulmate client that is going to push back. And if they do, it's generally out of genuine concern for you. Most of those clients that push back, not in a questionable way, but in a what the way, those are generally the clients that you got on accident and they really don't see any brand. You are either convenient, you are close, you have the right hours, you're right in the right price range. I remember before I switched things up in my grooming salon, I did the doodle thing. Everyone does the stupid doodle thing where your doodle prices don't make any sense. So we started our mini doodles were the same price as our Shih Tzus, which at the time our Shih Tzus were $50. Mini doodle, Shih Tzu, not the same thing. Even if they're pretty close in size, they were not the same thing. So we did our minimum price for a doodle at $65. And I had this client confront me and she's like, we've just been really unhappy. You make us wait 3 days for an appointment. You make us do this. You make us do that. You make us feel bad when he comes in all tangled. You do this. The only reason we were coming here was because the price was right. Now, this was the kind of client that, because she was a therapist, if she was running late, we would hold the dog. We would do this. We would do that. Bend over backwards. And it was really freeing to be kind of yelled at by this lady. I'm like, oh, thank God, go away. Like, I don't want you. Thank God. But I remember that because, it was just, I loved the dog. The dog was, oh my God, he was adorable. He was such a sweet dog. But she was pretty miserable and she was unreasonable and she was rude. But a lot of that was just, she didn't value what we stood for. And you can't convince people. So if I'm feeding a dog food, let's say Origin, or we can just say Wellness, Blue Buffalo. If they increase the price and someone is really sold on the value of that, people are just going to buy it. But if someone was buying it for the wrong reason, they're going to question it. They're going to hem and haw. They're going to call for coupons, and then they're going to pick something cheaper. Blue Buffalo or Wellness or Origin can't sit there and talk to every customer and justify why their price went up. Things go up. My shampoo has gone up. My electricity has gone up. My internet has gone up. Everything has gone up. Everything is going to continue to go up. and some of it's supply and demand. I am one person, and in order for me to take care of you, I have only so many things I can do. So I would really suggest, whether it's me or another person, if you're going to do these price increases, to have a plan on how you're going to do it, your marketing. Are you going to write your clients a letter? Is it going to be an email? Is it going to be in person? Are you going to let them know a time before? Are you going to let them call them and tell them over the phone before their next appointment? Are you just going to put it in your policies and procedures and read that off? All these things highly depend upon your business model, who you are, how you handle stress. One of my clients, Stephanie, is really anxious, and I love her to death. Very anxious. And that's the thing, is that for those things, I knew for her, she had to build up confidence and start asking the client she hated. We all have clients that we hate. It's always like a cocker or a wheat in or something like that. And so she started with those clients, and she built up confidence because we did her happy price for those customers. And so again, that is where having a business coach is going to help you build those things. You can always do it yourself, and you're going to question yourself, and you're going to wobble, and it's going to be tough. This group is always here for you. You guys are more than welcome to post in the Savvy Groomer, finances for the grooming industry, any of those things. But a lot of it is going to depend. I'm sorry, I'm sure it's either Leah or Leia. Feel free to sign up for our membership, which is Grow Wealthy Grooming. We actually have a module about difficult clients, and that may be a great investment for you. It's only right now $10 a month. You sign up, there's PDFs right there in that, and it walks you through how to deal with those customers. If you're not ready to invest in a business coach, at least then you have the resource where you can go in and go through that. I hope that answers that question. LRJA8 says, investing in things can help, such as gel and soles, wrist supports can help. Sadly, it isn't really something that even comes to mind for a lot of times, and it's an added cost at the start too. Honestly, for me, wrist supports were never an option. I mean, there's nothing, you can't bathe, a German Shepherd in wrist supports. You can't, I don't know about you guys. I can't even imagine scissoring with wrist supports or doing all of that. That's really tough. And gel and soles, I definitely should have. I did invest in Dansko's, but your girl was, I feel so guilty. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, yeah, I was like lifting a 100-pound German Shepherd on tables, like I messed my body up because I was a dumb young groomer, and I was one of those people like, I can handle anything. I'm a strong, independent woman. So it's my own fault. I destroyed my body because I was stubborn and proud and unreasonable. #truth. But if you guys have any more questions, I'm going to start wrapping this up. It's been a great topic. I hope this has been super helpful for all of you guys. If you guys can't tell, I am currently trying to figure out. Oh, speaking of, boom. Like I said, go ahead and sign up for our Grow Wealthy Grooming membership. It is still only currently $10 a month. I actually have the pleasure of hiring a membership consultant. I'm super excited. We're actually redoing May's because she looked at me and she said, girl, you have all this wonderful information. Let me make it in a way that is far more just concise and easier for you guys to digest. And I'm all for making things better because I don't know everything. I wish I did. That'd be awesome. But your girl does not know everything, unfortunately. On the flip side, I would also suggest you guys to sign up for my Personal Finance on a Leash, which is a online course that teaches you personal finance and how to get your money under control. We are going to be creating a year-long program that will take Personal Finance on a Leash as well as group coaching and helping you repair your credit and save up for things like a van payment or a loan for a business loan. So we'll be doing that in the near future. Whoop, as I try to create all that. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oh boy. See, this is only one person. Oh, there I am. Bloop. Anyway, guys, it's been great as always. I really enjoy seeing and talking. Well, not seeing. Chatting with you guys. I enjoy chatting with you guys weekly. Oh man, now I did it. Now it looks all bright. I look like Halo. Oh, guys, it's been great talking with you. Let me just see if I can. Nope. I don't know what I did. Bloop. Boop. I don't know, man. All of a sudden I got bright. Telling you. I don't understand it. Lighting, all this stuff. Can't get it. I try. Well, guys, it's been great talking with you. I hope this week's topic of boop, the strategy for recovery, should I increase my prices, was helpful. Bloop. It's been great talking to y'all. Have a great week and happy grooming.